education is 90% encouragement and 10% teaching.
Thank you, Rakesh ji. Respected Secretary School Education, Government of India, Secretary Kumar sir, all my distinguished, eminent fellow panelists, members of the Confederation of Indian Industry, ladies and gentlemen. I take you from Sanjay sir's concluding remark. If you wanted to see India as a progressed nation by 2047, there is no other way except to educate our young people. The new national education policy has brought in a new energy to the Indian education system. There's a lot of positivity brought in by the new national education policy. From the school education point of view, how we are translating the vision of NEP into reality. The school boards, particularly the CBSE and CISCE, the boards are working on the curriculum. Primarily, the curriculum is developed by the National Council for Educational Research and Training, that's the NCRT. And the school boards across the country adapt and adopt the curriculum developed by the NCRT. And school boards also evolve various processes to transact this curriculum into the classroom, the pedagogical practices that needs to be adopted in the classroom. So for transacting the curriculum, the school boards, the school education system as a whole needs to build the capacity of the teachers. One of the biggest challenge of attaining the vision of NEP is lack of capacity of our teachers. The teachers' capacity building is the biggest challenge. Teachers at the classroom and teachers working as head of the institution. At both levels, huge capacity building is required. The NEP has given us a vision of 50 hours of continuous professional development. But not only that 50 hours CPD will help us to transform the curriculum transaction. We need to transform the higher education as a whole. The B.Ed colleges, the B.Ed courses, the undergraduate program, the postgraduate program. There has to be continuous reforms in the school education and higher education that can bring transformation in the teaching learning that's happening in the schools. So once curriculum transaction and teachers' capacity is built, how you will measure the achievement of learning outcome as well as effectiveness of all these machineries working. That is done through the assessment practices. So assessment or the examination is the driving force for bringing changes to the school education system. Today, none of the school boards in the country is able to bring assessment reform because of the obsession for mark. We are not looking at the capacity and competency and skill set of the students. We are looking at the percentage of mark. The NEP has given us a vision, moving away from rote learning. Are we able to do that? Again, we need to bring close coordination between the industry, close coordination between higher education and school education, and there has to be a sea change should happen in the way we admit our children into the higher education institution. Till that happens, none of the school boards in the country will be able to bring transformation in the assessment. Because if one board does any major shift in transformation in the assessment area, the children of that board will be affected and they will not be able to find place in the higher education institution.
Exactly.
And that will lead to a lot of social unrest and stigma attached to that board. So teachers' capacity building, assessment reforms, and using assessment for learning and off learning, and bringing systemic reforms like school quality assessment, the key stage assessment at the 358 level, then the holistic progress card, evaluating children at 360 level from early years till grade 12, and sequential identification of learning progress and the learning gaps, and timely intervention at every stage to address the learning gaps, and also to promote gifted children by identifying their uniqueness and talent. If the children have ability or skill set in sports, that needs to be nurtured and promoted from early years. Identification of skill set at early years will help the child to attain proficiency or mastery in the distinct areas when they become adolescents. So multiple interventions, right from curriculum reforms, innovative teaching learning practices, using technology to bring transformation in teaching learning process as well as the assessment, and teachers capacity building, systemic reforms, all put together will bring transformation to the school education system. Beyond that, a seamless integration of connectivity between school education, higher education and the job market, that needs to be brought in. Above all, promoting skill education by encouraging every children to accept dignity of labor. No job is inferior than any other job. Everyone should develop that confidence. That confidence building is required for our children. In fact, education is 90% encouragement and 10% teaching. Once we are able to do that, we will be able to bring that transformation in the society through education, and we will see India as a developed nation by 2047. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Emmanuel.